Today's July 17, 2014, the 198th day of the year. There are 167 days remaining until the end of 2014. Sunrise today is at 5:22 a.m. The sun sets at 8:30 p.m. Length of daylight hours today, 15 hours, 7 minutes, 47 seconds. 1 minute, 40 seconds shorter than yesterday. Tomorrow will be 1 minute, 43 seconds shorter than today. The moon appears above the horizon today at 11:32 p.m. and sets at 12:55 p.m. Friday. The moon passes above downtown Rutland City at 230,383 miles from the center of planet Earth within the first zodiacal designation, Aries, the Ram. On this day in 1717, King George I of Great Britain sails down the River Thames with a barge of 50 musicians where George Friderick Handel's Water Music is premiered. He's been king at this point for 3 years, but not just King of England. Here's the style. By the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France, and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Arch-Treasurer and Prince-Elector of the Holy Roman Empire, Duke of Brunswick-Lunenburg. Back in these olden days, you want to be the king, you have to go out and do the conquering yourself. George I doesn't have to do that. All the silver's in the castle already. All he has to do is move in. This King of England's born in Hanover. He's the first British monarch of the House of Hanover. And Hanover, last time anyone looked at the Google Maps, is what is now Germany. But in 1660, when he's born, there is no Germany. Hanover is the seat of the Duchy of Brunswick-Lunenburg in the Holy Roman Empire. The deal with the water music is George and his best pals, the court people, dukes, and especially the duchesses, all pile onto the royal barge, and tidal movement of the Thames being what it is, they don't need anyone to row, which is especially lucky seeing as how it's still the 18th century. There won't be any Evan routes for another couple hundred years. The rising tide pushes everybody upstream, and lucky the weather gives them a break. It's a terrific summer evening. George I is 57 years old. He's only got another 10 years to be king, and his son, the prince, the Harry of his day, is grabbing the spotlight in London with his crazy parties. The king just wants to show that he's still got it. On another barge, a separate barge, here's the band, about 50 players, and Handel, with whom George has had this special relationship since his Hanover days, has written the water music for just this occasion. Don't know if you've seen any pictures of George I, but he's a fairly flamboyant character. He likes the ladies, especially his royal mistress, Erengard Melusine von den Schulenburg, a thin woman whose unflattering nicknames include Scarecrow, Maypole, Goose. In royal portraits, she looks stolid enough. George I's wife is his first cousin, Sophia Dorothea, and the only reason they marry is because her family's pretty well fixed. George I needs the income to keep himself in silk suits and buy his mistress more flattering nicknames. Monarchy being what it is, George I's got to produce an heir, which means, he's got to deliver the goods with Sophia Dorothea. The inbreeding in the royal house of Hanover might explain the madness of George III, 2 generations down the line. Anybody who's got a boat is on the river this night. Water music's a hit. Pretty soon, everybody in town is humming it. Handel's got himself an earworm. On this day in 1917, King George V issues a proclamation stating that male descendants of the British royal family will bear the surname Windsor. World War I's been going on for 3 years at this point. English soldiers are dying by the tens of thousands in French trenches under German fire. It's a far better show to take the more English-sounding name Windsor than to hang on to the Germanic handles Saxe, Coburg, and Gotha. On this day in 1938, Douglas Corrigan takes off from Brooklyn to fly the wrong way to Ireland. Becomes known as Wrong Way Corrigan. Corrigan's an American aviator from Texas. He's just flown from Long Beach, California, across the country to New York. He's filed a flight plan to fly back to the coast, but it's a cloudy day on this day in 1938, and Corrigan takes off from Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, and instead of flying west to California, he flies east, across the Atlantic, to Ireland instead. Flight takes 28 hours. Only had a couple chocolate bars and a pack of Fig Newtons with him. Wrong Way Corrigan. Neville Shute, the engineer and author who wrote On the Beach, writes, "To put your life in danger from time to time breeds a saneness in dealing with day-to-day trivialities." From Rutland, Vermont, this is Richard Alcott speaking.